Diddly 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 do. Diddly diddly suck my poo. Diddly 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 suck my poo. Diddly 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 diddly. I diddly 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 diddly. Diddly 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 do. Oh, diddly 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 do. Diddly 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 diddly. I did 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 I. Okay, wowzers. Wonderful day here in sunny California. Um, so check it. I released a song like on Friday, which is pretty cool. Got it roasted. But I also didn't realize that I had released another song. Nobody told me that it was released on a different label. Uh, Let me just go ahead and share that now. Totally didn't realize this. Why you don't release on other labels, you self-release. Happened to you. But it's fine. That's good. It's all in the past now. Everyone, so apparently I released another song that I forgot about. Please roast the shit out of me. So yeah, that's cool. So I'm excited about that. At least 2 songs this weekend. That's pretty cool. Let me just go ahead and post that in roasts here. Hopefully nobody gets mad at me. I guess I should roast somebody else first before I post it. So let's go ahead and do that. See what we can roast here. See. All right. Let's go ahead and look at Uida. Take a look here. The Control CTL6 by Uida. And then let's roast this, and then I'll submit my track, and we can roast that. So let's just get started. All right, let's go. Quiet. Oh, I can turn this up. that was really cool. The atmosphere was really nice. It was kind of a really trippy, trancey atmosphere. Vocal sample was excellent. Chords and and I mean, seems like you followed my atmosphere tutorial because the atmosphere was sick right here. Um, like some sort of like 90s rave music. The only thing is that, with something like this, I would expect it to be like 8 minutes long, so it's, not exactly done. But from what you do have here, this is an extremely promising start. Um, and, there might have been some minor mixing things that I could have said. But really, I don't think you're at that point yet that you don't even really need to worry about such things at the moment. I would just finish out the arrangement here, get that going first, and then we can come back and talk about the mixing things uh, later because, with such a genre, I think the mix is really, really important. Uh, but that was really awesome. And thank you, James Ryan, for the donation. Mwah, James, I really appreciate you. And, it's going to go straight to Uncle Joe's Whiskey Fund, and he's going to be very appreciative as well. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So, awesome. Okay, so let's just go ahead and roast my track. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that Weeda knows just roasted. Let me just make sure that that's all right. Roasted you on the stream. Please roast me as well. Okay. So awesome. I'm just going to post that, and then we can all take a listen and roast together. So here we go. Beginning. Cool, awesome. So, once again, I actually forgot that I had submitted that to a label for release and said yes. So I was originally actually going to hold off on releasing this and actually mix it down a bit better because I did hear some things in the mix that could have been improved. For example, at the very beginning there, the kick, there's just some sort of frequency, I think, kind of a boxy frequency, probably like, I don't know, like 160 to 200 or something like that, that could have been notched out. A little bit of distortion there. In terms of arrangement, I'm quite happy with it. In terms of sound design, I'm mostly happy with it. Um, Perhaps there could have been a little bit more variation at the very end there in this section. But I really like the kind of solo thing I did with the E-piano. I really like the sound of that. It took me a really, really long time to nail. And I like the transition, like a drum and bass light type track. Um, and yeah, like I said, I think I could have done the mix a bit better, but overall, I'm quite happy with it. I think in the future, though, um, probably would be best if I actually planned on releasing this instead of just opening up Spotify one day and it's like, oh, there it is. Um, Probably would not recommend that. Probably not going to get as heard as I would like it to be for that reason. But that's okay. No, Jared, I'm sitting on so much of it. So uh, yeah, shout out to Future Vibes for releasing it. And once again, right now it's only on Spotify, but I think it'll be on SoundCloud in the next couple days, which is nice. Um, yeah, cool, awesome. Go on. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and roast somebody else. I think this was another thing that was posted to the Discord. Let's go ahead and yeah, let's hear it. Cool, awesome. Yeah, I really like that. Everything you did was great. The dubstep, kind of neuro bass, the super tonal snare and kick. Um, in terms of the arrangement, probably just wouldn't, drop right in there like you did. But having provided a decent intro, I think what you have here so far is excellent. And I wish I could make neuro basses like that, to be honest. Um, Super duper dope, super well executed. Reminds me of Moody Good, my favorite producer ever, probably. Um, yeah, that was really good. Thank you so much for submitting. Once again, the channel or label that I'm releasing my track on, it should be up in a few days, is called Future Vibes, kind of associated with Future Collective. Shout out Michael from Future Collective, one of the most helpful, um, nicest I've met on the internet. And if you ever want to get heard, if you want to, start putting yourself out there and getting plays, I would highly recommend you join the uh, Future Collective Discord server. Start being active in there and talk to Michael because, I mean, helped me get heard many times. Anyways, all right, awesome. Let's go ahead and roast some more shit. I'm gonna go back to the Discord here. Looks like people are roasting me. That's all good. I'll have to look at that on my own time so that my ego doesn't get crushed. And let's go ahead and listen to Ad Lib Beats. This Block makers. Okay. Alright. Glitch hop. My favorite. Wow, that was fucking terrifying. Holy shit. I mean, I've lived for years in Uncle Joe's basement. I still didn't know that kind of terror, okay? Wow. Let's dissect a couple things. So let's start at the beginning here. So this is a great intro. Really the main thing in terms of the mix, before we even talk about the arrangement, is the snare I felt is too far back. That needs to be stronger. Okay. So Here, and I think throughout the entire track, there's always some noise or foley or vocal sample happening in the background. And I think that actually takes away, especially in the A section, more from the track than it adds. Because the coolest thing about the A section is the heavy bass that you have going throughout. And when you have the foley and the white noise and the noise, just the shit happening on top all the time, it takes us out of the heaviness of the bass and the kick. Um, so I would actually let up on that. And I think it would benefit the A section. You can go as crazy as you want and as creepy as you want in the later half, and you did. But I would think that if you want the focus of the A section to be on the bass and all that, the drums and all that fun stuff, just take out some of the foley at the top. There's just too much noise and shit happening. I would just make that snare cut through a little bit more. Everything here is super dope. Vocal sample really great. And I think honestly, you could just switch to the next section right there. I think you could go to the breakdown a little earlier than you do. So let's just skip ahead there. The pluck, the da 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 da. It's just not nearly as creepy as any of the other elements in the track, and as a result, it just feels a little out of place. It's like a, happy teddy bear in the otherwise decrepit, creepy cabin that this seems to be happening in. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Good build up. Once again, too much noise in my opinion. Holy shit, that fucking destroyed my ear holes. That amount of feedback, I would just turn that way down. Ooh. Now obviously this is fucking terrifying, but just make that snare louder and then it would be even more terrifying. It would be terrifying and powerful. Like one of the strangest things I've ever heard in music. It's really cool and it fucking scares the shit out of me, but I think it should go for like half as long as it does, because after a while the impact and the strangeness dissipates. That's much I can say. It's like that's when it starts to, we can kind of tell that it's run its course. So I would just, if you want to maximize how much you're going to scar people, which seems to be the intent here, shorten that section. And then I think it's just going to be so much more effective. And then turn up that snare, because we want to balance the heaviness, the headbangingness with the creepiness. But this is one of the most unique, interesting tracks I've heard in a long time, and thank you. I mean, this is some fucked up shit. I love it. Anyways, how am I sounding? Can you guys hear my voice? Is it noisy? Do I need to put the gate back on? We good? Okay, I'm just gonna assume that it's fine. Let's go ahead and see how people have roasted my track so far. And I'm going to go ahead and cry a little, but that's okay. All right. All right. More variation in the beat structure, specifically in the breakdown in the second half. I agree. All right, let's see what else. Huh, that was it? Really? Let's see what else. Enjoy how crisp drum sounded. Only thing I felt was needed was a little bit more variation. Okay, sure. Main synth needs more variation. That track needs to be louder. Okay. Love the intro and sound choice. Vocalist sound is really cool. Arrangement song-wise, only problem is that parts it feels a little empty, like some frequencies that should be in there that are not kind of empty. Isn't a lot of different sounds in here. Feel like some white noise risers could fill in what feels like a pretty bare intro. I kind of wanted to keep the intro bare, so I guess I disagree. Maybe tweaking some of the melody. Okay, sure, yeah, whatever. All right. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with all that. Yeah, there should be a bit more variation in the second half, and probably the mix could be improved, some frequencies, etc. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. But thank you so much for roasting me, guys. Really appreciate it. It only feels fair after all the roasts that I've given you. So let's go ahead and continue. All right. Okay, let's see what else. Zeus AB. Let's take a listen here. Did this guy follow the rules here? Who's Phil? Okay, different guy. Never mind. All right, just wanted to make sure that Zeus is following the rules here. LEL Whip. This is, the title is not promising, I gotta say. But let's just see what we got here. awesome. A lot of wheel, wheel, wheel there, which is a really cool sound, but kind of got old fast. So I would maybe hold off on the wheel, wheel a little bit. Um, but overall, I like the track. I like the structure. I think the mixing needs work for sure. I think the kick feels a bit too boxy, maybe a bit too distorted. So maybe just cut like usually what helps with my kicks is like cutting around 160 hertz, and maybe removing some of the click as well, and then just kind of taking away elements until the drop feels heavier. So for example, I think you could just keep it as simple as the kick, snare, and bass here. I think just take a note from Shiba-san's book and listen to a bunch of Dirty Bird or whatever, because those guys keep it super simple on the drops, and as a result, it just feels a lot heavier. And if that's the sound that you're going for, then I would recommend just stripping down a lot in those sections. And, just hold off on the wheel, wheel. The ambulance is coming. We all know we're dying, but, just try not to remind us so much about the fragility of life. Well, I'm going to cry right now, but thank you so much for that, Zeus. I really appreciate it. I think somebody sent me, this guy, he sent me a track across multiple platforms, seeing if I can roast Mr. Connor O'Brien. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Connor here. And then, yeah. Cool, awesome. I really like the overall groovy vibe here, and the instrumentation that you're using for the most part could work. It just feels like the different tracks are not listening to each other. So for example, the bass is like definitely not playing the root notes of the chords on top, especially in this section right here. And as a result, everything just sounds really busy and dissonant and clashing with one another. I think you could also use a very heavy sidechain on this section, as Brink pointed out. And I think that would help a lot. I don't know if you need a fucking trap breakdown, bro. You don't need a fucking trap breakdown. Just keep it groovy, keep it bumping, and then the dance floor will thank you. But really, yeah, it's the main thing. It just feels like there's too many different musical ideas happening at the same time, and you really need to kind of have these instruments work with one another. So just make sure that the bass is playing the chords on top. the roots of the chords on top, just for the love of God. It's just going to help your track so much. Because I think if you did that and just removed some more elements and kind of simplified things, added a heavy sidechain, this track would really, really work. It's got all the makings of a super solid dance banger. It just needs some refinement there. But thank you so much, Connor, for sending that in. All right. Okay. What else can we do? I guess we'll just keep roasting. Let's see who's posted here. Okay. Did Zemi post? Yeah, okay, let's hear it. Holy shit. That was fucking intense. Wow. All right, let's dissect that a little bit. I really like the intro. The intro is really awesome. It's like one of the most unique trap intros I've heard in a long time. Not necessarily this part, but what's about to happen. Yeah, I really like that. Just the way you're using the snare and it's very sparse. Yeah, I really like this. I like how he modulated the pitch on the bell. lot of different bass sounds here. They all have a very similar, very dry quality. I don't know what synth they're using. It sounds like Massive, but I would just maybe cut like maybe add like a dash of reverb and maybe cut like around 1 or 2K. It's just all the sounds are very very pointy, and it's usually in that frequency like 1 to 4K that is the issue. There's just too much of that frequency in my ear holes, so it feels like each of the basses is kind of stabbing my eardrums every time I hear it. And there's a lot of different basses. There's so many different sounds here, and at times it just feels a bit too much, I would say. Um, let's keep listening. I want to dissect these a little bit more. It's like, I think it's just too many different basses happening at the same time, and it's it's a personal preference thing. But they all have this same quality where I think the frequencies around, like I said, 1 to 4K are just being too represented in the mix. So maybe filtering those out or notching them out, I think could help a lot. Um, Other than that, in terms of your kick and snare, it's all good. One thing that was really strange was, yeah, you just stop everything. You just go from 100 to 0 real quick, and it's just such a insane contrast that I just couldn't help but like laugh. It just felt so jarring going from like that super hard section to basically what was just silence. I think you need to bridge the gap a little bit. At least try adding the bell at the beginning back into this section so that we're just not met with complete silence after that. Because I can really only hear the bass sound that's being played there because I'm wearing headphones. If I was listening to this on my laptop speakers on my phone, I would just think the track was over, and that would be it. So make sure that your track isn't over until it is. And then that way, I think people will make it to the end. But in terms of the the sounds minus the 1 to 4K issue, I think they're quite good. The intro is really unique, I think. But I would just work on those mixing aspects and also just making sure that the arrangement is a little less jarring when we're jumping from one section to the next. But thank you so much, man. That was really awesome. Yeah, the stereo. Yeah, I would check out EPROM as a good source of inspiration for sound design in your basses because it just reminded me a lot of his music. He does a really great job at designing huge basses that on the surface feel really simple, but just sound fucking awesome. Definitely check him out. He's a great source. Anyways, I think I'm going to head off, but thank you so much. Really appreciate all of you roasting, listening, giving feedback. Thanks for all of you who donated. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching the videos and being here. It warms my heart. Yeah, awesome. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out, y'all.